What is going on, guys? Predator458 here, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a viewer replay, once again featuring gameplay submitted by Soalhn. Today, however, he is taking his Tier 3 American destroyer, the Wickes, out into battle, and he is on the map Big Race. As you can see, 3 Tier 4 battleships on his team. The enemy team has 2, but then they also have a Chroma and a Tier 4 destroyer, while Soalhn's team only has a Tier 4 Phoenix as the other Tier 4, so fairly equal in that regard. But before the action really gets going, because let me tell you, when I saw the damage result screens for this match, especially considering it's such a low tier ship, I was really impressed. But before we get going, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of my subscribers, everyone who has stuck around, everyone who comments, likes, shares, submits replays, all of that. Over the weekend, in fact, I think it happened yesterday on Sunday, we hit 400 subscribers. So the next big milestone being 500. We got a month and a half or so to do it before, I suppose what you could say is my channel's 1-year anniversary, because that's when I kind of restarted this channel, end of January, beginning of February this year. It had been going a little while before that, about a year before that. I was trying to do something different, but it was on Assetto Corsa, which is the racing game I sometimes feature, but I just wasn't playing it that often, because every time I want to play it, I got to move. I obviously got a wheel and all of that, so I got to move that into position, and it was just not working for me. So that one, I kind of stopped doing that a long time ago, and then it was January, February this year that I restarted with War Thunder. But anyways, so we've got month and a half to see if we can get another 100 subscribers, to see if we can make 500 by the 1-year anniversary. But anyways, starting to get into the time when we might be seeing some combat soon. We've got an enemy Kolberg at 7.5 kilometers. So it looks like he was considering opening up, but he decided against it. Just going to give his position away, probably not going to do that much damage or anything like that. But then, yeah, something else to just quickly talk about. The other day, a few days ago, last week now, when you guys are watching this, Mech Warrior Online, which is obviously a got a Dursky there at 5.3. I think he is going to be spotted soon. There we go. It recently launched on Steam. Now, the game has been available for quite some time. Soalhn uses his smoke, and now he's just going to sit in the smoke cloud. But it's been available for some time, but it recently launched on Steam. So hopefully it's going to have a significant influx of new players. Now, this game I've had for a while. I've dabbled in it very lightly from time to time. And again, just is that something that you guys would be interested in seeing? Because, I mean, again, it's, I suppose the kind of theme of this channel for the most part is, free-to-play games. Things like Armored Warfare, World of Warships, War Thunder, a little bit. And, of course, Mech Warrior Online is another free-to-play game. So, is that something you guys would be interested in? And then, one of my other subscribers, we had a long chat on my War Thunder rant video. And he mentioned that he was quite surprised that I was actually a War Thunder addict, I guess you could say, firing some blind torpedoes here. And unfortunately, even though the marker and the Kolberg is kind of in the right spot, we're going to have to wait and see if those manage to find their mark. But he was kind of surprised that I was a War Thunder player, because of now featuring Armored Warfare. He kind of rightfully assumed that I'd been a World of Tanks player. And I kind of mentioned to him that I wish I had not stopped playing World of Tanks, because I was in the closed beta for that, and when it went into open beta, and the final sort of economy with the proper grind and that kicking in, I kind of lost interest in the game, because I mean that was several years ago, and I guess it would be fair to say I didn't quite understand how free-to-play games worked, in that yes, they're free to play, but you're kind of going to almost going to need to spend money. So the grind kind of put me off back then, and I kind of wish I had carried on, because then I'd actually know how to play the game and have some decent tanks. Whereas now, I think my highest tier vehicle is tier 5, I believe, and I'm like completely clueless when I go into that game. But he suggested that it might be interesting for me to do occasional World of Tanks videos, and you guys can see me progress through it, and obviously sharing my thoughts on certain vehicles and certain tanks and that sort of thing. So let me know, are a lot of you World of Tanks players? Is that something else you'd like to see alongside World of Warships, Armored Warfare? That and MechWarrior Online, are those some other games that I should potentially consider putting into my game lineup? Yeah, I mean, both of them will be severe learning curves. MechWarrior Online, I know, is something that you've got a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff you've got to worry about. Perhaps quite a bit more tactical than a lot of other games. But, I mean, is it? Yeah. Anyway, basically, let me know. But, yeah, right now he is in a pretty solid HNs in a pretty awesome spot. He's got a Wyoming and a South Carolina within torpedo range, which, if memory serves, on the Wickes is 5.5 kilometers. The only thing standing between him and 70,000 odd damage is a Kolberg, which is of course a cruiser, and cruisers excel at destroying little destroyers. Now he's just kind of hoping and waiting for this guy to come around the corner. I think he has popped smoke here, so he is going to be able to sit undetected, moving forward slightly, just trying to see if he can get a shot on the Kolberg. But the Kolberg is well aware of a destroyer in front of him and is starting to reverse. But Soalhn is going to fire off his 2 torpedo tubes. He has been detected. He's going to put some fire in with his guns, and it looks like he is indeed going to get a hit with his torpedo, and indeed he does. 5,500 damage, causes flooding, but the rest of them all miss. Now it also looks like the Kolberg is continuing to flood, which means he must have used his repair party or damage control team earlier to put out a fire or something. And lo and behold, he gets another torpedo hit, which was on, I'm guessing was on that battleship that he wasn't even firing at. And you can see the Kolberg is continuing to take damage. He's now moving out, perhaps trying to get a kill before he sinks. Soalhn puts it in all ahead full, fires off some torpedoes. Just unfortunately, there's one torpedo tube on that side is taken out. Narrowly misses, but the flooding gets him, and that is his first kill of the match. And trust me, there are going to be many more. And I'm guessing this is a replay bug, that the South Carolina was not being targeted as Soalhn was actually targeting it, and as such, there was no lead indicator for the torpedoes, because he fired off both spreads. And there we go, now we've got it. He's going to fire off another one, but it was not needed. He gets 2 torpedo hits, gets the kill and devastating strike. 1 battleship down. But I mean, as you can see, his team is doing fantastically well. It's 8-5 right now. And here is another battleship, this time the Wyoming, with 27, nearly 28,000 hit points remaining. So he's going to start moving towards it. And now he's going to swing over to port and fire off his starboard torpedo tubes, and there's just nothing this Wyoming can do at this range. Yeah, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know what's going to happen. 3 torpedo hits, 21,000 odd damage done, and that is his 3rd kill of the match. And people say that American torpedoes are shit. Well, I mean, they are shit compared to the Japanese ones, but there are still many situations where they can work. And now he's got another battleship here. This is a tier 4 Miyogi, 40,000 hit points remaining, 3 kilometers. He's going to fire it off. Both launchers on his port side have now put fish in the water, and they are steaming towards this Miyogi. And again, just nothing this guy can do. 3 hits, high caliber, devastating strike, and he actually hit the magazine. You can see in the chat box, C4Z achieved detonation. So well done to you, sir. And that is Soalhn's 4th kill of the match. But now he's got something a little bit more tricky to deal with. It is a St. Louis Tier 3 American cruiser, and we all know these things far too well. They are porcupines just bristling with guns, and they make very short work of destroyers. So he's in quite a tough spot here, but he is in a smoke, so he's going to use the camouflage to just put some fire onto the St. Louis while he can. He fires one salvo at the aiming indicator, one quite far behind it, presumably in case the St. Louis slows down. But this is not only going to be a more difficult target to hit, it's going to be a more difficult target to survive, because you will see those guns will just absolutely wreck little destroyer. And unfortunately, it looks like all of his torpedoes are going to miss. Yep, but he's now considerably closer, and he manages to get his 2 starboard tubes off. He's been set on fire. He's down to 400 health. He's burnt his repair kit, but it doesn't matter. He gets another 2 hits. That earns him another devastating strike and Confederate. That is his 5th kill of the match. But while he used his damage control team to put out the fire, his engine was then knocked out. So unfortunately, he's going to have to sit around for another 15, it's now another 10 seconds until he can repair up his engine and get to hunting the final battleship, which is going to turn out to be a Kawachi. So yeah, while that happens, just trying to think if there's anything else I want to say. And there he's asking his team. But yeah, I mean, I guess just thank you again to everyone who has subscribed and everyone who stuck around and helped build up this channel. And again, don't forget, let me know down below if there's what your thoughts are on including MechWarrior Online and possibly some World of Tanks in the gameplay rotation. But yeah, we're going to probably pause here and skip ahead until he finds this Kawachi. So yeah, it didn't take him a whole lot of time to find this Kawachi. It is currently being engaged by this full health Phoenix. I kind of wonder what he's been doing all match, if he's managed to survive till this point without losing any hit points. The Kawachi is down to less than 4,000 health. It was on 9,000 when Soalhn first spotted him, but the Phoenix has set him on fire. And Soalhn almost seems to be content to let the Phoenix deal with it and just get some capture points, but he is starting to move forward to try and see if he can get a shot on the Kawachi. He fires off 3 of his guns, 900, 700, 300 hit remaining. He gets the final hit and finishes off the Kawachi for his 6th kill of the match. So pretty fantastic game. So thank you so much for sending it in. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I thoroughly enjoyed watching you wreck those battleships. But anyways, as you can see, 250,000 credits, 9,500 reputation. So I'm guessing it was a special weekend when this was played. 3 devastating strikes, Confederate and high caliber, 30 target hits, 12 torpedo hits, 2 incapacitations, 6 kills, 1 fire, and 5 floods. Obviously, he came first place on the team. Where else was he going to come? Second place was Wakataki with 945 points. So a considerable gap between himself and the Wakataki. Enemy team Kawachi with 554 base XP was first on their team. As for damage done, 8,642 damage from high explosive, 265 from fires, 6,181 from flooding, and 96,000 XP from his torpedo hits, giving him a combined total of just over 111,000 damage, which is pretty epic for a tier 3 battle. But yeah, that is about it for this video. If you enjoyed, please feel free to hit the thumbs up button down below and consider subscribing for more World of Warships, as well as Armored Warfare and a few other things that are thrown to the mix from time to time. Also, be sure to check the description down below for the email address that you guys can use to send in any epic replays that you might have. And as I said, let me know in the comments down below if World of Tanks content and MechWarrior Online content would be something that you guys would be interested in seeing. But anyways, that is it from me. Thank you very much for stopping by. This is Predator 458 signing off, and I will see you guys next time.